Good. All right, welcome Elijah. Welcome Kurt, Misha, welcome. This is Eyeseeme, and we're here on Eyeseeme Spotlight from the Eyeseeme African American Children's Bookstore. And we're here today. We haven't done Spotlight in a while, but I'm really happy and glad that we're restarting with this particular author and this particular book. And we're here to talk about the new release of the book, Wildflower by Ibura Ayele. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So hold on one second. I know I can hear it right now. Okay. Hold on. That's the Facebook feed. So in case you guys are on Facebook too, it's over there as well. So a little bit of delay there. But I'm happy again to be here. Welcome, Ibura. I'm glad to be able to have you on Eyeseeme Spotlight. When my wife opened up Eyeseeme African American Children's Bookstore, we wanted to definitely have a place where we can feature African American artists and authors. And I'm so glad that we're here to feature you today. How you doing?
I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing well. And you?
Very good. I'm very good. Very good. I'm glad to be here, running around all day. I'm glad to just sit down and be able to just have a conversation. And especially congratulations about your book, Wildflower, published by Fifth Ribs Publishing. So shout out to Naomi, and it looks very beautiful. I love
very well.
It matches your sweater. Look at that. Look. So let me again welcome everybody that's here. If you don't have it, please make sure and get your copy. They are here at Eyeseeme Bookstore in University City, or if you're out of town, definitely you can go to our website at www.eyeseeme.com. Okay, so let me just tell you guys a little bit about Ibura. So she's a proud St. Louis native, St. Louis strong, and has been writing ever since she could pick up a pen and scribble. Through participating in slam poetry throughout high school and college, she began to hone her craft. When she's not in school or writing, she's enjoying doing yoga with her friends, watching movies, and traveling to visit family. Wildflower is Ibura's first book of poetry. Again, welcome, Ibura. And I like that, first book of poetry. So let me I'll read a little synopsis of Wildflower, and then we can kind of get into some of the questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, and so for you guys who are joining us too, again, welcome to Eyeseeme Spotlight. We're featuring Ibura Ayele, make sure I'm getting it right. And she's the author of Wildflower. And please, as we have this conversation, if you have any questions or anything like that you want to pose to the author, you can definitely put them in the chat. And then when we get to that segment, we'll have her answer them, okay? So please, glad you guys are here. Spread the word. We're also on Facebook Live as well, so let people know that we're here. Okay, a little synopsis of Wildflower. Wildflower is a meditation on nostalgia, grief, growth, and Black womanhood. In her short collection of poems, Ibura writes about grappling with her faith and inevitable changes one faces after a devastating loss. Wildflower is written in an accessible and graceful style meant for readers of all backgrounds to relate to in some way. Through her poetry, Ayele shows us how to see beauty and find meaning in life's most difficult trials. This is Ibura's first collection of poetry. Again, congratulations on your first book. And we got to start at the beginning. And please tell myself and the viewers there what inspired you to write Wildflower.
Yeah, so I'll just share my screen and start at the beginning. Oh, why is it paused? Hold on. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, okay, no problem. Take your time. We're here. Yes,
Okay, it's loading.
I can see it. I see your screen.
Okay, you see it? Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So this is the flower that started off. So, um, Wildflower is a collection of poems written over about 5 years. I lost my mom to a 2-year battle with breast cancer in 2017. And after that, I just kind of kept it pushing. Like I didn't really take the time to kind of go through the grieving process. And so I had just entered college. And so I just kept it pushing. And basically to the point where the following summer, I was working 3 jobs. I was volunteering. I was, doing anything I could to run away from the grief, to keep myself busy. But in the midst of all that, I was driving on my way to one of my jobs, and I was coming off the exit, and I saw these purple wildflowers along the median, and it just felt like as if my mom's presence was with me. There was like the morning sunlight was shining on them, and I just was like, wow. And I just had to sit with that. And so it kind of reminded me to like take some time for myself. And so that following fall, I started writing and, just really going through the thick of it with grief. And so basically, when my mom was going through her treatment process, when I was in high school, I would write about her using wildflower imagery, and her favorite color was purple. So when I saw these flowers, it just really stuck out to me.
Mm,
Um, and so that's the inspiration for the book. So the poems were written throughout this whole process of, going through college and grieving and, developing as a writer. And so they were later arranged into a narrative style,
I
to
see.
kind of tell the story of that journey.
Got you. Got you. It's like therapy.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
self-administered.
For sure. Well, you need that. You need that. First of all, condolences on your loss.
Thank
So sorry about that. But out of this pain comes some beautiful works and this title that may be inspiring to people who read them. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's a thank you for sharing that journey. What
yeah.
was that? What was that process like? Just kind of going from, I guess, these emotions and feelings to like putting it on paper. Like, did you know that this was something you're going to put together in the book, or was it just out from the heart, just kind of a journal type of thing that you didn't think you would ever share?
Um, I want to say, so I'll take you through the journey. So,
Okay, so I'm
um,
sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to get
no,
cut.
no, 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 this is
Good.
perfect. It's a perfect segue. So this picture was from, I took this picture of the flower like about a year later. I had this somewhere off of Martin Luther King. I had just left Friendly Temple from my friend's program at church. And so I'm just on the north side on the side of the road with my iPhone trying to take a picture of these flowers that I had seen probably like a year prior, that just stuck out to me and kept in my head like
Hmm,
wildflower, wildflower, like, like thinking about the idea was kind of churning at the time. And so jump forward to 2020 on the right, while everybody else was making bread and lockdown, my family was, painting during like 2020. We were giving Michael's craft store all the business. So that's where this came from, kind of just just that moving with the inspiration. So writing poems, drawing. On the left in in this picture is like a note I wrote to myself. Like I said, like journaling has been like self-soothing for me. Writing poetry is like for me first. So this little sketch, I was just like dreaming about the project that I could develop. And so it later turned into what you see on the right, which Sarah Blair illustrated for me based on this sketch, based on conversations we had had. And this was the original cover for the book, but we decided to go a different direction. But I still love it, and it still feels like a part of the project,
yeah,
um, until we get to the final version.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, the journey. So it's just interesting seeing those beautiful flowers, but the environment that they come out of.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Can you describe that? Because people don't know Martin Luther King or some of the like where these are. It might be helpful to put context around that.
Yeah, so these chicory flowers grow like in abandoned plots, and just grass that's really growing like on alongside highways and in vacant lots and stuff like that. And so it really just describes like the beauty you find in places that society has divested from or turned their back on. So it
Yeah,
spoke to my experience with St. Louis as well.
yeah, 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 for sure. So you kind of mentioned that, and you kind of got into it a little bit, but what type of themes would you say you explore in your poems? Is it grief? Is it more? Is it different things? Is it a variety of things? Like how
Yeah.
would the reader approach it? Yeah.
So it's separated into three sections. The first one is called The Woman, where I kind of there's like themes of nostalgia and family, and it's just like a warm kind of section of the book where I talk about my mom and us together and who we were as a unit, sort of.
Hmm.
The second is called The Grief, where it's like more raw. There's nature themes throughout, about growing and life, going on sort of. And the third is called The Legacy and How We Go On, and it pulls on that theme of Black womanhood and um, family and sisterhood and things like that.
Gotcha. At what point did you know, I think I'm going to make this into a book?
I had been probably like a year after I saw the flowers. I was like, that was just a dream. It was like, okay, one day. But as I started collecting poems, probably put it in like a Word document around 2019, 2020, and I was like, okay, maybe I have enough to, do this. And then I talked to Sarah Blair in 2021. We were sitting in doula training together, just talking about life after college, sort of. And I was like, I want to publish a book one day, a book of poetry. I have this thing I've been working on. And
Mm.
so, look at us now. We
Yeah,
made it
yeah.
happen.
See,
So
yeah,
I'm really grateful for that.
that's good. That's good. Shout out to Sarah for being,
Yeah, shout out Sarah.
yeah, 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 helping you get to this point. So that's really great. Um, so before this, we spoke about even in your bio, you talk about slam poetry. How did you get into slam poetry?
I got into slam poetry at the Missouri Scholars Academy in 2015. It was like one of the classes intensives we did. I think we were there for about 3 weeks or so, and you would like take a few classes and like get into them intensely. And both of mine were writing classes. One
Hmm.
was slam, and so at the end of the little summer program, we got to do a performance and like a slam competition, and I got really into it. I just love like all the feedback you get from the audience with slam.
Yeah.
And so I went on, and in high school I started a slam team at my high school because I just it wouldn't shake
Wow,
off.
you got the bug, huh? You're like,
Yeah, I got the book. So, through Herb Arts, organization here, they organize high school slam poetry. So we connected with them. We had a little team going. Then in college, I joined the WashU Slam team, an
Mm,
awesome community there as well. And that's how I fell in love.
nice. So just for those who are on, how would you describe the difference between slam poetry and poetry? I'm not, what's the other one, Kelly? I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
they call it page poems
Okay,
sometimes.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I feel like in slam poetry, you're really focused on like the image you want to evoke in both at least, but in slam, it's like your tone and how it sounds, and um, those are the kind of things that I focus on. And
Gotcha.
and a lot of page poems, might want to look a certain way. You're focused on, the line breaks and things like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, okay. I guess slam poetry. I think of slam poetry. I think of performance.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's in a way, which I love both. I love both. I was telling you before when we first moved here to St. Louis, before we started, I was telling you that I started, that's my exposure was going to Legacy
Mm.
bookstore, and they used to have a Friday night slam. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. And the artwork, but also you feel like you're a part of the whole experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is an exchange for sure.
For sure, for sure. So what, just in general, whether it's page poetry or slam poetry, just what do you think about poetry in general? Do you this speaks to you?
It's I feel like it's a language of that Black people have developed somewhat like uniquely
Yeah,
in the US, that just captures our experiences the best way
yeah,
somehow. Like I read when I read Black women poets, I just feel like a sense of communion there, like I'm being seen and I'm seeing them kind of thing. So it feels like a language sometimes.
yeah. That no matter what the generation is speaking to you, right?
Yeah,
You connect with it. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
so who are some of your favorites that you?
I really like Mahogany L. Brown is
Mm,
a poet, Nikki Giovanni. I love listening to like Maya Angelou, um,
hmm.
reading Toni
Great.
Morrison's books, and I've been getting into a lot of fiction lately. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. Was that in your home? Was it through school? Was it extracurricular?
So,
Like, what exposed you to poetry and poets?
so writing in general, my mom, I guess I would say was like the original poet because she was a songwriter.
Hmm.
Um, a singer-songwriter as well as a journalist. So being able to write well was always like first on the agenda.
Wasn't a
Writing
question. It wasn't a
it
question.
wasn't, it
Yeah.
wasn't. And so I would just copy her. So I would be like 7 writing love poems, like I mean like love songs about heartbreak and stuff. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Right.
But I would
Right.
say that would be my first exposure, just hearing her art form.
Um, in addition to writing poetry, I know you're also passionate about reproductive rights. How does that play into some of the themes in the book? Or does
So
it?
there is one poem in the book, specifically about like Black maternal health that I wrote during my so I in a graduate program for public health. I'm
Mhm.
graduating in May.
Ah,
Uh,
congratulations. Wow,
yeah,
countdown.
yeah.
Nice.
So oftentimes in the news, it's like you hear about the Black maternal health crisis and the dangers of pregnancy and stuff like that. And I just kind of wrote about I used that poem as an outlet. It's called Weathering You Won't Kill Me Too. Um, and I use that poem as kind of an outlet for my frustration and just to channel all my feelings into it. I'm gonna read it
Okay. Okay.
at the end
Yeah,
of the program, so stay tuned.
absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna shut up in a little bit, and then we're gonna hear from Ibura, and she's gonna read a couple of her poems. So we're really in for a treat. I want you guys to please out of here, if you could, throw in some questions in the chat or some comments or things like that. Let us know that you're here and that you're enjoying this conversation. And then at the end of her reading some of her poems, then we'll answer some of your questions. Okay. So, but yeah, definitely let's see some things in the chat. Couple of questions, then I'll be able to do that. So, you're proud St. Louis native, born and raised. How do you think being brought up in St. Louis environments, the good, the bad, all that stuff has sort of helped contributed to, to this book as well? I mean, even the idea of the wildflower, I really like that. And I don't know if people can, if they don't see it for themselves. Like I know as soon as I heard about the book and sort of the wildflower where it came from, it's like I know exactly what you're talking about because I can see the buildings and I can see the flowers going between them, and so it did hit a spot for me when I heard about that. So, but just other than that, just generally speaking, how does just being a native St. Louis and impact your work?
Yeah, so just kind of living at the intersection of being Black, a woman, all these things, like, and then experiencing um, moving through St. Louis. So in high school, I used to drive literally across the Delmar Divide every day, go home and back to school. And that just kind of like the inequity we see, like I saw up close, the health disparities seen up close. So it's just like feeling a responsibility almost to St. Louis to for the beauty it's provided, and also, you know, the troubles that it has, just to be a part of the movement that in my career, in my art, just to uplift the city the best I can.
Nice. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to go see Facebook. I see making sure. Okay. Yeah, a few people there. Great. Yeah. For those of you guys are watching on Facebook, go ahead and hear that you're there. You can throw in your questions there as well, or comments, and we'll definitely make sure that we get those answered. Okay, let's see. Just this is a part that, you know what, let me do this. Enough of me talking. I think let's give some time for you to read a couple poems. I have maybe a couple more questions after, and also some of the questions as well. But whatever you pick, go ahead and read a couple of your poems, and you can also tell us a little bit about it as well.
Okay, I see some questions in the
Oh, do you?
in
Okay,
the Zoom
sure.
too, if you wanna do those, but I can read
Okay,
first.
no, good, good, good. I do see one. Elijah Rogers says, "Do you have is there a poem you would consider your favorite?"
I think the last poem ends the book really well. It's called Black Girl Fly On, and it was based off of a like my first one of my first slam poems that I wrote, and my mom really loved. And I wrote a poem related to it about her flying on to, you know, continue her soul's journey to the beyond. And that's my favorite because I feel like it ties everything together.
Gotcha. Will you be reading that tonight?
I didn't plan to, but I
Okay.
can.
Okay. No, it's up to you. Hey, it's your show, whichever
Gotta
one.
get the
That's good.
book.
Yeah, that's right. Leave it. Leave it. That's right. Yes, yes. So don't forget, you gotta add this, make sure, and you add this to your collection, right? Wildflower. Make sure and pick it up. Okay, so I'll oh wait, Elijah's another one. Is there a specific poem you think really captures the heart of Wildflower as a whole?
I would say the title poem, there's a poem called Wildflower that kind of speaks to that image I showed in the beginning of the wildflower, you know, off of Martin Luther King growing in the sidewalk. But also I would say the last poem, those two really bookend the book as a whole.
Okay. All right. And anonymous attendee. Well, thank you, Elijah, for those questions. I have a couple more, but again, I'll get to those. I want to hear from you. Then we have some more
Okay.
questions we'll get to. Okay.
All righty. Let me pull up my poems.
And the meantime, you guys can keep putting your questions in there. We'll get to them. I want to hear from Ibura.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and read the title poem, Wildflower. Um, Wildflower. During summertime in our hood, purple wildflowers grow by sidewalks in the untamed yards of abandoned buildings and vacant plots. Their beauty is unapologetic. No matter how ugly the history of racism and disenfranchisement looms over in the form of dilapidated buildings and stares up through cracked pavement, there is beauty still. Don't mistake them for weeds just because they grow fiercely. We call anything we can't control a weed. They are flowers. They bloom and prosper for their own glory. Mama was a wildflower, unapologetic in beauty and stance, free. So that was the title poem.
Nice,
And
nice. Snaps.
I'll, snaps, thank you. I'll read another one from the first section of the book. It's called The Woman. And I wrote this poem after one of my dad's college friends. He's a poet at University of Kentucky. And my dad gave me a copy of his book about and there was a poem about his mother called Tongues, and it resonated with me. So I wrote about my mother's many tongues and code switching that we do as Black folks. So this poem is called Tongues, after Frank X. Walker.
Hmm.
I used to tease what, uh, sorry. I used to tease mommy for what we called her Buffy voice. Her conducting business, reporting, parent-teacher conferencing sounds kind of like an email looks voice. D as in door, E as in elephant, H as in house, AAN as in Nancy is how I learned to spell my last name overhearing her phone calls. Around me, her voice was warm, but careful, not to slip too far into the North Side accent she was raised with, careful to pronounce my name in all its glory, so I'd know to correct people when I heard it butchered by the knives we Americans carry in our mouths. I loved the rare times I heard her R's relax, to melt words like her, hair, and here into an indistinguishable one, the way St. Louisans the way only St. Louisans can. Around her sister, she was class clown, twisting and bending language like balloon animals, making everyone burst with laughter. Around our family, her tongue was colorful, bright as her smile, and loud as she wanted to be.
Mhm.
That's a sneak peek.
Nice. I love it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So one of the questions that we always get from individuals is like, what advice would you have for someone that's interested in either being a poet, or being an author? What advice would you give someone?
I would say for both writers in general, just to get in community with other writers. My time in undergrad with my slam club was probably where I saw the most growth in my writing, and just having the ability to feed off of others, get feedback and things like that. I think it's one of the most valuable things you can do.
Nice. Surround yourself with like-minded
Yeah,
people. Yeah, yeah. Very created a very inspiring type of environment that way.
exactly.
Nice, nice. So okay, I know we spoke earlier, you're not really doing the slam too much now, but do you surround yourself with other poets now?
I don't the way I should,
I
somewhat.
mean, are there opportunities to that?
Yeah, there's writing groups around and still, open mics and things like that. And I
Mhm,
know a couple poets like me who have books who they self-published and things
mhm,
like that. So
mhm.
I'm working on that, taking my own advice.
Gotcha, gotcha. No, no, no. Especially now post-COVID, and I was like, okay, you got to get out, get
Yeah,
out, get out. So,
socialize.
and there are opportunities for that without being slam. It could be page poetry, but still have opportunities to hear individuals speak as well, right? Nice. All right, so a couple more questions that we have. What is your process when writing a poem, like from idea to word on a page? Like,
So it usually starts with an image or like a really uh salient feeling I have that I need to get out and process. So oftentimes it's just journaling. Um and I might, run through some rough drafts while journaling and then come back to it and keep adding on to it, and kind of it's almost like meditating on a specific feeling that I'm trying to get across in the best way possible.
yeah, that's beautiful. To me, that's the beautiful thing about poetry is that it just it's putting these emotions into you. You're just not just uh, listening to the words, but you're also feeling the
Yeah.
words. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. Kai Jackson said, "Thank you for sharing your story and your process to writing Wildflower. I'll definitely purchase a copy from Eyeseeme." That's right. Definitely get two copies. Get two
Thank
copies.
you.
What is the gift? Absolutely. Let's see. What's your favorite thing about poetry?
The community, I feel like, yeah, the
Yeah,
way it makes people feel, just whether you're reading it or listening to it, um, you just feel connected
yeah,
to the writer or what they're writing about. I feel like it's
yeah.
an easy
That's
way to connect.
That's a good word. Yeah, yeah. That's you feel connected. I think we kind of said that a little earlier in a different way, but that's a good way of yeah, it's true. Um, what is your current muse for writing?
Oh, right now, um, I say it's just this period of my life is kind of uh interesting. Just like, going from one role, like as the college student to the next and finding out
Oh,
what's next, like the
adulting.
uncertainty. Adulting,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Adulting is the muse right now, but the book has a lot of nature in it, a lot of nostalgia in it. So I feel like that's often themes in my writing
Right.
is plants and stuff.
Well, it's a great timing because now I was driving down, wasn't MLK, was Page, but still, North Side, and I saw the blossoms started already, and so it's that time of year. So it's a great time for wildflowers to be coming up soon. So that's really good. Two more questions. Can you share a favorite memory from creating this project?
Oh, it might be when Sarah created that first cover for the
Uh,
book,
yeah,
seeing seeing her sketch, seeing it come to life, um, is one of my favorites
that was nice.
while working on this project. Another one I would say though, in July, I had a like kind of a paint and sip, but it was like a paint and read with my family.
Uh-huh.
So my cousin sketched Sarah's Wildflower on a bunch of canvases.
Hmm.
We all painted after
Oh,
I read from the book. So they got like the first sneak peek
uh-huh.
of the poems, and it was beautiful reading in front of them because they knew my mom,
Yeah. Look at
people was
that.
getting emotional.
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
so that was a beautiful,
That
beautiful.
is beautiful. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Wow. Um, did you ever deal with writer's block and how do you work through
I do all the time.
it?
uh, Kind of just reading other people's work, reading other poets, I feel like helps
Hmm.
um, me access that creativity
Yeah,
and feel inspired, but also just, going into nature and living life and taking a break
yeah,
from
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Step away from it, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, there's more. I'm sorry, I didn't scroll down. There's a few more. From Kai Jackson, he said, "How you decide what pieces to include in the book?" It's a good point. You probably wrote a lot more than what we see, and then
Yeah.
the kind of how do you know which ones to keep, which ones to kind of
Uh, like a lot of them came out of like my poetry classes in college and slam and Naomi, the editor, helped me to narrow it down some, but I kind of cut ones that some I didn't feel were long enough. Others like weren't directly relevant. So
yeah,
it was just like, oh, it came down to looking at the narrative story as a whole
yeah.
and just looking at the reader's journey, like from beginning to end and seeing what fit where.
Gotcha, gotcha. And again, for those on, Naomi is from the publishing from Fifth Rib, right? As doing the editing for the book, and Fifth Rib was started by her grandfather. Now she's head of the company for Fifth Rib and doing the editing. So I know she was instrumental in helping to put all this together. So shout out to Naomi. Dee Dee says, "I love your poems. I felt every word. Thank you for sharing parts of your difficult journey. Which one was the most challenging to write?"
Mm, I would say these were written at times where I didn't expect others people to read it necessarily. So
Ah,
it's not that they were difficult to write, it's like more like difficult to read aloud, some of them, or difficult to share. They get real vulnerable. So there's a poem in, let me find it. Psalm 30 verse 5 in the book where it just kind of deals with me um being at like the rock bottom of depression, and so that one was difficult for me to read and to publish, I feel like, but it was like really vulnerable, so I left it because it was just the truth.
Gotcha. Is that which one was that you said?
It's on page 28.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Also on Facebook, we have a question from Herbert. From Herbert. Um, Ibora, my sister, I really appreciate you sharing of yourself. It appears to me that you have the ability to be open and revealing with a depth that would have most wrestling with discomfort. I imagine a lot of people will find your works therapeutic. I certainly do. Thank you so much. Herbert too.
Thank you.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
that's my hope with the book, is that people feel like they have space to fall apart and to figure it out
Yeah.
and to move on, to
Yeah.
move forward in whatever they're going through. So
Yes. Such is the journey of life, right?
yeah.
Elijah, so he stole my last question. Thank you, Elijah. So can we expect the next book from you?
I hope so. Oh, someone else said where. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. Probably not for a while. I gotta get through this
You
rough
get to
part.
this first, okay. Did you
Just
see the
doing
other
it.
question that I might have missed?
How can we purchase the book and support you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I gotta scroll down. I keep missing it. Okay, yeah. So definitely here at Eyeseeme Bookstore. Again, if you're in New City, you can catch us at 6951 Olive Boulevard if you're in the St. Louis region. Otherwise, go to our website at www.eyeseeme.com and you can get a copy there as well. So Ibora, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you for sharing your story and your journey. Thank you for this beautiful title that I know is already we've heard it's impacted people. When people read it, they really feel it. So job well done, job well done. So thank you very much. Any last words to participants?
Thank you so much for listening, for engaging with the work. I had more poems I wanted to read, but it's okay.
Oh no, we could do
If it
we
was,
could do one more. We'll do one more. Go ahead.
I'll do one more.
Do
The
one
one
more. Okay,
the one
absolutely. No, I'm not rushing you off. Let's go. I'm taking my
okay,
time
okay.
here. Go ahead. Yes. Mhm.
Um, so okay, I'm gonna read two more, then
Okay.
I'll let y'all go. So this second poem comes from the section of the book titled The Grief. And it was originally a longer slam poem that I condensed down and put into the form of a pantoum.
Mm,
And so I feel like it made it better than the free verse. And it speaks to the idea of a change in connection with the loved one when they pass on, just how my mom feels incredibly far away, but sometimes she feels very warm and close, a lot like how we experience the sun. So this one is called Visions of a Bereaved Daughter.
mm,
My mama lives in the sun. She moved away and left me on an alien planet that looks so familiar. Here, cloudy days are the hardest. Sometimes it's so cold, I just can't get out of bed. Ever since, I've been sending her up messages in spaceships. She gave life to me, and now she gives life to everything. And she must be the reason my heart hasn't frozen over yet. My dreams make her feel like she never left. Her rays warm my skin and make the flowers bloom. Though she is 93 million miles away, I can see her face so clearly in my dreams. Sometimes I storm, I tornado, I hurricane, because these 93 million miles are agonizing. But I know the sun shines with the same radiance behind the clouds. I'm learning to keep my storms inside while I look for silver linings. My mama lives in the sun, and she arises anew each morning. Thank you.
mm. Wow. Yes. Oh my goodness. I felt that one. I
Thank,
love the imagery. I love the imagery.
thank you. This last poem I read is was inspired by my studies in maternal health, and um we hear the term weathering come up a lot in reference to Black maternal mortality rates and things like that. And I couldn't help but sort of connect it to my mom and how she passed, just shy of her 51st birthday, and how like the living in a racialized society basically impacts us all, our health
For
and
sure.
wellness. And
Yes.
so I'll go ahead and read it. It's called Weathering. You Will Not Kill Me Too. And it starts with a quote. My sister died fighting for justice. You won't kill me, end quote. Emerald Snipes, daughter of Eric Garner. Stress is killing our mamas. To be Black and woman and strong and struggling in a society that will never see us as worthy of protection or compassion or justice, it wears away at you, pulls piece by piece, block by block until Jenga. You fall ill under pressure that has built over the years. You will not kill me, too. I will return to myself each day to rest, restore, recover from the storm outside, the weathering. I will love who I want, laugh till I cry and heave for air, then laugh some more. Smile with my mama's smile, dance with limbs long like my daddy's. Heal, resist, dream, learn and unlearn, build new futures, pray over my village. I rest to honor ancestors known and unknown, Sherry Haynes DeHaan, Erica Garner, Audre Lorde, Fannie Lou Hamer, Octavia Butler, Nina Simone, and all those who lived in pursuit of the freedom to be Black and woman and radically free. So with that,
Nice.
I'll leave y'all.
Nice. Nice. All right. Again, Kai Jackson said beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
And I agree. I agree 110%. Again, I thank you for taking the time with us. I invite you back again. Definitely, maybe if we do some events here at the store, I know you did one last year. Maybe we could do some things, but you definitely got me in the mood now. I want to hear more. And especially now as a change of seasons, so it's yeah, so we'll talk. But for those that joined us, thank you so much for Eyeseeme Spotlight again. Let's support, Ibura and this project. You won't be disappointed. As you heard from others, it's very beautiful, very touching. And I love that. It helps us all connect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. For Eyeseeme Spotlight, Jeffrey Blair. Take care and have a good night.